Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Laurel Park. As we always say, nothing to get you pumped up for a great start to the racing week. As that intro, I'm Acacia Courtney, thrilled to be joined by our morning line maker, Keith Fusel. Pretty much wear many hats you wear.
Line maker,
but
let's see, chart caller,
pretty
caddy,
much everything.
A little bit. Yeah, everything. Yeah,
pretty much a little bit of everything. And we're going to tackle a little bit of everything this weekend as well. We have the class on the grass is what we're calling it tomorrow, including the BWI Turf Cup and the Bald Eagle. A nice 12-race card tomorrow on Saturday with special early post
Get
time.
your pockets full.
Yeah.
Hit the bank machine a couple times before you come out and get yourself loaded for a big weekend of racing. And we've got the Stronach 5 kicking off today.
Yeah, we do. It was really fun putting a video together. You can head on over to our Maryland Racing YouTube page or XBTV Gulfstream Park. The Stronach 5, it kicks off right here at Laurel. It's starting today. Laurel Race 9 is going to be the kickoff race. Then we go all the way out to Race 4 from Santa Anita as the next race. Then it's Race 8 from Gulfstream Park, Race 4 from Golden Gate, and Race 9 from Gulfstream Park wraps it up. So as we said, we put a video together, but a $1 minimum wager, but that nice 12% takeout.
Yeah, and I think on the self-serve machines, go and ask for Laurel Race 9 to get you started for the Stronach 5. Laurel Race 9 Stronach 5.
That's
yeah,
right.
Good.
So we're excited to be kicking it off here at Laurel. It's a tricky race to kick things off, but a tricky sequence all the way around. We'll get to that a little bit later on today. But let's look at what we have to offer you this afternoon. We have a couple of nice carryovers here, too. The Rainbow 6, which starts a little bit later on in race number 5. And we do have that Super High 5, a nice carryover there, too, any race with 7 or more runners. So some pretty good options there. As far as the weather does go, we are off the turf right now. We did have quite a bit of rain yesterday. Main track listed as good. Yeah. Nice and sunny right now, though.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I didn't know what that thing was up in the sky. Yeah, they call it the sun. Yeah, 70s. Partly sunny. Track is good, and we certainly could get the fast very quick. Just a little bit of moisture. Saw some spots there in the track. So we're going to start it as good. I think we're going to get the fast. A little bit of a breeze kicking up. A beautiful day for racing. And let's hope the rain is out of here for a while.
Let's hope. And as Keith said, we're not quite too accustomed to seeing too much of the sun lately, but happy to have it out today. Again, we're off the turf, but we do have 10 races on today's card. So let's jump right in. We're starting in race number 1, originally scheduled for 5.5 on the turf to be run at on the main track. This does kick off our early pick 5, first of 2 pick 5s offered today and every day at Laurel Park. Early pick 5, always a mandatory payout. It's only the late pick 5 that can carry over. This also does start the Super High 5 as we have a pretty good size field in here. Just a couple of scratches, but we both go a little bit more towards the outside. Let's start with the number 11 introduced. This was a horse that I still landed on this filly. She'll probably be a short price.
She's going to be awfully short. Aligned at 4 to 5. She could be short, but I had to be a little careful. You've got an outfit like Sagamore with Horacio DePaz with a first-time starter that I think is going to certainly take some money. Even maybe the Michael Dilger horse, the 13 looking sharp. Now that this race is on the dirt, and this horse certainly is bred to handle there. There's a little stat though for Goldberg backing up and what his short price today. But last 5 years, maidens in the money last out, second start. 10 for 28, pretty strong, 36%, 54% in the money with an RI of 289.
Yeah, really good numbers there. And I had originally looked at that stat just on the turf, which was also good numbers, and then editing for the main track. It seems like all maidens he does well second time out.
Yeah, he's done well.
Done well for sure. And now this filly, she shows speed in her first start up at Saratoga. I thought it was a very good race from her. She did get passed. She did get beat to finish second, but again, second time out, having that experience under her belt, I think is really going to be good for her. But as far as the 10, best at getting better for Horacio DePaz. There's lots of good pedigree with this one.
Certainly. It was turf or dirt. With either way, you could go with this 2-year-old filly. Half to Tisgale, 3 for 11 sprinting on the turf. Also, kin to Shoe Love. Shoe was very quick and won early. So I think you're going to see some speed for best at getting better. This barn has done quite well over the years with 2-year-old firsters in Maryland. They hit at a pretty high clip.
Yeah, this race is a waiver made in claiming, but it almost feels like it's made in special weight caliber. And even coming
Mm-hmm.
off of the turf, you have still a really good sized field in here. One horse that probably has some of the more experience under her belt is that filly by Munnings, the 5 Money from
Mm-hmm.
Heaven for Hammy Smith. Has 4 starts already. She's just kind of been knocking on the door.
Yeah, close to a slower pace last
Right.
time and just kind of churned on with the added distance. Now shortening up. Is having to be hustled a little bit too early going to take a little starch out of that late kick, or can she settle and make a run into the speed?
Well, definitely a very interesting race to kick things off here on this Friday. Really quality race, even coming off of the turf. So we'll see what we get from those 2-year-old fillies as we flip the page and go to race number 2. This is a Virginia bred stake. We have a nice little stakes action early in the card on Friday afternoon in the Jamestown. 5.5 on the turf, now to be run on the main track. And this does also kick off our early pick 4.
Early pick 4, and I'm going to go ahead and start it with the get your ticket started with the all button, because none of these horses proven too much on the dirt, except for I guess the 4 Bear Trap is okay. A couple, 3 third-place finishes up at Delaware. But then let's take a look at this early pick 4. $16 ticket. Even with the all button to get you started, it's very, very affordable. Go to race 3. We're going to just go too deep here. Dutch Blitz and Lord of Misrule. As the old squirrel heads on by, I'm going to take a shot against the 5 Colonel Andy. Singling the 10 in race 4. That would be Cocktail Witch. It's going to be an awfully short price in there. Looks like the controlling speed and a scratch down race that's been taken off the turf. And in race 5, too deep with the 5 and the 6. Hot Frisia, we've got a video spotlight on her. A little trouble in her most recent start.
I like it. And as you said, even with the all button and our friend here visiting on the set with Mr. Squirrel, we do have a nice affordable early pick 4 from Keith at $16. But looking at this race, I mean, you have to imagine certainly trainer Susan Cooney holds a very strong hand with 3 horses. I ended up keeping the number 2 ready to run on top, even though he's only run on the dirt. But he's got speed, or excuse me, he's only run on the turf, never been on the dirt. But he's got speed, and there is dirt pedigree on the bottom side. So I'm going to take a shot with this one, but I think this race is wide open.
Absolutely. At a shorter price, I'm going to look elsewhere. Maybe River Gal off of that race. Same thing. Maybe Money from Heaven will give you a little bit of a clue. See how that horse does in the first race for Hammy, and it should be a key here for River Gal. But we saw this is a half to River Deep who benefited from a race taken off the turf right the other day, went ahead and got dirt. Really wasn't a problem shortening up. I think she's got a little bit of experience here under her belt. She can keep the speed close and then grind down late.
That could definitely be the key. These 2 have shown some pace. They have that experience. There is a firster in here, the 6 Painful. Been working well for the debut. There is a little bit of versatility as far as the pedigree goes on the bottom side. In general, I do like Painters more on the turf, but certainly several different ways you can go. The 4 Bear Trap, probably one that I should have added somewhere in. Been running for a waiver claiming out at Delaware, but very consistent getting the blinkers today.
Oh, yeah. Has really doesn't done anything wrong. Has the benefit of 3 races, has the stamina, and looks to be the one that was going to be able to take a rating hold and have some finish. Looks like the legitimate proven finisher in this shorter field.
Might be just sitting right in the catbird seat in the wide open edition of the Jamestown. Keith pressing all in the first leg of that pick 4, which certainly might be the best way to go. As we flip the page, race number 3. This race was always a main track race. It's 5.5 furlongs, a $16,000 claiming event. A pretty key scratch, I thought, of Orlin Curlin, who is dropping in class. Kieran McGee goes it alone with Colonel Andy. You said you're taking a stab against this horse.
Yeah, it was a big race at Timonium. I know the numbers were a little bit inflated over there, but did it handily. But the one thing I didn't like, this horse was laying in a little bit through the final 16th of a mile. Jock kind of keeping him straight and looked to have something in reserve. But now the drop in for the tag. That worries me a little bit. I know Kieran's as good as anybody, being aggressive. He aggressively handles his horse, puts him in the right spots. But I look for a little bit more value. I like the 1 Dutch Blitz. He's kind of shown a rating gear here for you, McMahon, and handles any kind of surface. Lord of Misrule. This horse, where's he been since July 11th? But I'm back a look. They claimed him for 15. They gave him a little bit of a break. He came back and ran strong. We've had video of that race from July the 22nd. This horse won first time off the claim for Mike Doralis and Mark Lapidus. And crafty ride here by Sheldon Russell. Just settles off the pace, drafts off the speed. Lone speed of Poplar Avenue. Now, Poplar Avenue is a horse for Claudio Lacana. Maybe has been going the wrong way. Declining a little bit in form. Hasn't been able to carry his speed as well. Look at this move. Eye-catching move. Inside of Rivals past the 3/8 pole. Keeps on sustaining to the quarter pole, then shifts out and makes a nice surge to get up light here. I even has to work in between horses past the 5/16. We're going to follow this home. But Sheldon, very comfortable here on this horse. Not really asking for much until the 3/16. He shifts this horse out and really responds to pressure. Lord of Misrule, a good sustaining run. Given a little break off of the big effort. I like that. Barn proven they can win right back. Lord of Misrule gets some speed in here as well. Mr. Fix-It is fast. Dutch Blitz has some speed, and Double Sky is one way on the outside.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And that was one of the reasons that I didn't end up using Double Sky as my top pick because, I mean, this is a horse that is just going to send. I like Lord of Misrule. I think he's going to have a target.
Okay.
He's been used very lightly in his last couple of starts for sure. But I do think that he can handle any little bit of residual moisture in the track. In the first couple of races, you can start to look at how they're going. You might get a nice stalking trip from the number 1 Dutch Blitz to the inside as well. And speaking of the number 1, we did just hear that in race 2 in the Jamestown, there is a late scratch of the 1, Promise Me the Moon. So stick by afterwards. Dave Rodman, our track announcer, will be here to update you on all of those scratches and changes. But the 1, Promise Me the Moon, is out of the Jamestown. But we've talked about race number 3, a couple of different ways you can go. We'll see if Keith taking a shot against Colonel Andy. We'll see if he can make it 2 in a row or if somebody else will upset the apple cart. As we go on to race number 4, 5.5 furlongs on the turf to be run on the main track today. This is a 16,000 non-winners of 2 event. And this race, we're a little bit all over the place in here. I went to the main track only, but honestly, I think I liked the Wildcat Sunshine getting back on the turf. I still think he's got a shot on the dirt.
Yeah, he's back with Lynch. Lynch was able to kind of get the maiden score off with this horse, get this horse to settle a little bit and make a run. Went second to Be Humble. Be Humble was the lone speed that day back on the sloppy surface at Pimlico. Yeah, I think this horse is okay. I'm going to use this horse definitely underneath. I don't know if they can catch Cocktail Waitress. I think this field is much easier than the one that she faced over Timon. I'm going to go first time in the barn here, transferred over to Ollie Figgins' barn.
And this was your single, right?
Yeah, this is my single in the pick 4. I think she controls it from the outside.
What do you think about the number 9, A Star at Last? Got some speed. She might not be as fast as Cocktail Waitress, but do you think that she'll take it to her a little bit early?
I mean, that was kind of a slow quarter at Timoni, 23-1. She set up in there, maybe. But I mean, there's no My Chest of Charm in here. My Chest of Charm ran off the screen at Timoni. That was first time off the claim for Mark Reed. Internal 22-4, 46-3. That's awfully quick over there for the 6.5 furlongs. Cocktail, if needed, I still think she can rate as well.
All right, we'll see if Cocktail Waitress gets the trip in there. The Wildcat Sunshine, a little bit of a price play. We'll see what kind of price she is on the main track, getting that drop in class in there. I'd go to the 5, the main track only, Be Humble. I think that she's going to be forwardly placed. Yeah, she could be speed. As you said, she beat the Wildcat Sunshine. She's been a little questionable as of late in her last couple of starts, but 2 and 3 back was running against tougher. So I think she fits in here.
Yeah, I think her thing is best run away and hide.
Yeah.
She's going to have to do that because if they're laying on her mid-turn, I think she's going to give way. But we've seen some of these Kenny Decker horses. They sometimes pop up, show big speed, and they just don't stop.
Yeah, well, let's hope she gets a little bit brave on the front end under apprentice Raylu Gutierrez there in the 4th. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll tackle that 20-cent Rainbow 6, and we'll continue on with this Friday card here at Laurel Park.
Hey everybody, super excited to tell you about a brand new national Pick 5 wager that kicks off on Friday, September 28th. It's the Stronach 5 and it features an industry low takeout of 12%. You want action? The Stronach 5 is all about action. We're talking 5 races in less than an hour. Laurel, Golden Gate Fields, Gulfstream Park, and Santa Anita. That's the Stronach 5, a 12% takeout, $1 minimum, and it sets sail Friday, September 28th.
Welcome back, everyone. You heard Jason, the Stronach 5. It's starting today, and the first race that kicks off that wager is race number 9 here at Laurel Park. We're excited to get it kicked off and pretty excited to see how it all plays out, covering 4-racetrack in 5 races, that 12% takeout. Should be fun to see how it all plays out.
A tour de force in a short amount of time, and dollar-based wager. You know, you might have to kind of invest a little bit more, but hey, the reward is going to be a lot sweeter at the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we put together a video, so you can go and check out our Maryland Racing YouTube page. Go to XBTV, Gulfstream Park. We'll cover Golden Gate and Santa Anita as well. It's opening weekend out at Santa Anita, so we'll have everything covered, as we said. And speaking of having everything covered, we're picking things right up where we left off here at Laurel Park. Race number 5 does start the 20-cent Rainbow Six today. We have a little bit of a carryover there, $5,000 plus. That's not too bad a way to start off your weekend.
I'll take that right now. I could put that to use real quick.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So we'll show you my ticket. No singles for me as I took a stab at the sequence. $43.20, or the Ron Nicoletti magic number, as we always say. Try to keep it in that mid-range. Hopefully get you some spending money for tomorrow's card as well. Again, on that Class on the Grass day. I'm using 3 horses to start things off here in race number 5. That's a dirt race. I think Hot Frisia probably the one to beat. You've got Firth, who's got a lot of speed and turning back in distance as well. I'm going to go 3 deep in race number 6. I thought coming off of the grass and with a couple of the scratches in there, maybe got a little bit more wide open. Race number 7, that's a $25,000 mating race. I'm going to use the 2 Star Seed Child and the 4 Country Line Dancer. I tried to go through with horses that maybe had not quite as many tries as the number 5 Simonella, who's always right there. It's still an 0 for 20 maiden. In race number 8, that's a nice allowance race using 2 horses in there. Polite Pearl, probably the horse to beat. We'll see what happens. I like Margie's Money at a bit of a price in there. In race number 9, that's that race that does kick off the Stronach 5 wager. I'm using 3 horses in there with 3, 5, 7, and then just 2 deep, we've got the entry 1-1A, and I'm using the number 4 Federal Walk, who I think could potentially control the pace in the nightcap. So that's how I saw today's Rainbow Six.
No doubt. And I like in racing, you talked about Margie's Money. I threw her into the mix. Horror trip last time. Sheldon coming back. He's a brave man.
Yes.
She wanted to take a left-hand turn, go over the rail, but he did a great job with her, and she was real keen to the wire. Visually, I thought the race was better than the figure.
I thought so.
And she showed a little talent earlier on in her career. She can be moving in the right direction. She's going to step it up against this group, but holds value in that pick 6, pick 4, and pick 5.
Yes, we'll see if we can get you a little bit priced later on. We'll get to that race in a couple minutes, but we'll kick it off here in the 5th race. This is a restricted allowance race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, and we both land on the number 5 Hot Frisia, and I'll let you take it from here because, as you said, we're going to talk about her most recent trip.
Yeah, we'll take a look at this trip. Interesting trip. She came away well September the 7th, her most recent try, behind Rhythm and Rap, and that was another Ann Merriman trainee. Hot Frisia breaking there from the 3-post. Comes away sharp. Right to the front, and I actually thought the jock might have go ahead and go right on with her from there, but Rhythm and Rap to the inside, goes ahead, maybe a little bit more speed. And this is where things get a little bit dicey because Gomez is kind of rate her back, gets caught in between horses, is never really comfortable to about the 3A. She can't really do anything now. If he kind of rushes up in between, I don't know if she's got enough to go past Rhythm and Rap. She's got the horse that's going to keep her trapped to the outside. Now she's in a box. Now nowhere to go. But all in all, she only gets beat 2.5 at the end. She kind of shifts out and flattens a little bit late. But these kind of trips occasionally, they kind of just take the starch out of some of the horses' runs. They just can't quite finish. Takes a special horse to do it. She's trying to the wire, but Rhythm and Rap, you go back to, look at the opening quarter. Very soft. Couldn't gain into that either. She had plenty left in the tank to hold off the closers. Hot Frisia here. Is she as quick as Firth early? I don't think so. But I don't think there's anybody else that can kind of get in the way from her. She just sits stalking trip and I believe can go by.
I think she can too. I think that if she gets in a little bit of a more comfortable position. As you said, sometimes I think take the starch out of them is the perfect word for it. If they're boxed in like that, sometimes that confidence is really hurt in the early part of the race, and horses maybe get distracted or they lose interest in the race if they don't really have any chance to run. Also trying to make up ground in a race where she wasn't able. The race wasn't coming back to her at all either. I don't really like Firth turning back in distance. I respect her. I respect her back class that she has. I don't really like the turn back. Going from route to sprint with this kind of layoff for Lacey Gaudette, who does an excellent job. She is 0 for 11 over the past 5 years. Now, this horse showed a lot more speed stretching out. I'm not quite sure what we're going to get from her turning back.
Exactly. What are they going to be able to get? A sharp work. back in August. Then we don't see another work until September. So
Mm-hmm.
what's going on there as well? She's fresh. Maybe Hot Freesia will just, if she pops the gate like last time, go and go ahead and control. I don't see anybody else with the kind of speed of these two. They're going to be tough to catch. Sweethearted, maybe it is a price she's back to her best distance at 6 furlongs.
I think so too. She does seem to be most potent here, but it looks like the race goes through the 5 and the 6 as we start off the Rainbow 6 there in the 5th race. We move on to race number 6, 5.5 furlongs on the turf to be run on the main track. This is the 16,000 non-winners of 2 event for the fillies and mares. You go to the inside with the number 1 Reign Supreme. This is a very interesting horse.
Yeah, last time she caught a fast track, she whistled. She had a little bit of a pace up in front of her. I think she's going to get it today. This is a little bit shorter field. I just don't think she's a horse that fits Timonium at all. She drops too far back. The try after the maiden breaking score, just too tough. I mean, Bye Bye Blue's a speedy horse. There's not that kind of talent in this field. I think she's going to be able to be reserved 7 or 8 lengths off the pace and go ahead and make one steady progression from the quarter pole, find some room, and go past.
This does seem to be like the right class level for her for sure. Just running against tougher 2 starts back in her last race at Laurel. Bye Bye Blues, you saw the likes of Rhythm and Rap and Hot Freesia in there as well. So some tough running lines that she was keeping company in. So potentially one horse to go back and take another look at. I like that pick there. Maybe get a little bit of a price. I went to the 7 right up your alley.
Right.
I know that the maiden score came on the turf last time out, but this filly has run some solid dirt races. She has some natural speed to her as well. And with Mary Epler, I think you always have to pay attention to this barn, and especially given the way that she ran. I know that she was beaten by Reign Supreme 2 times back, but hopefully sometimes when horses break their maiden, it's like the light bulb clicks. Whatever the surface is, the light bulb clicks. They understand. They know what it's like to see the winner circle.
Sure.
So they're able to keep that form going and stay in good form.
Yeah, confidence is high right now. And 3rd race off of a layoff, and Mary, she doesn't push them too hard. It lets them work themselves into it. This horse, I think, is set for her peak performance on the dirt. Is it going to be good enough to make up that 7-length gap to race it? Possibly, but I like the finish. She comes off of a good turf surface. She's going to have finish. Bourbon Street Lady is a horseman kind of showing the attack speed but flattening out. These 2, I think, are the ones that are going to have the final thrust at the wire.
Maybe a little bit of a rematch for them as well. And Bourbon Street Lady coming back in just 6 days after that last race at Delaware does have some solid dirt form in her last couple of races. So let's go on to race number 7. This one is 6 furlongs on the main track. It's a maiden claiming 4 fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. And this starts our late pick 4 sequence today. I took a stab at this ticket as well. Similar to what we saw from the Rainbow 6, I went $27 in here. Spread a little bit more in a couple of the races because you just have those 4 races to tackle. So if you get knocked out of the first couple legs of the Rainbow 6, you can come right back in with this late pick 4, which could be a nice way to wrap up the day. I'm using 3 horses in here. I did include the number 6, Blame Julie, on the drop again. Another horse that's just kind of been knocking on the door. We'll see what happens in these wide open races. These are some inconsistent horses that you just never really know what's going to happen. 2 deep in the 8th, using 3 horses in that 9th race a little bit later on, and then wrapping up with the entry and the 3 Publish and Iterate. I did not use this horse in my Rainbow 6, but I said if I'm playing that pick 4, I didn't want to miss out on a horse taking a big drop in class in the finale. So $27 for me.
Okay. Like it.
All right, so let's dive in to the 7th race in here. Again, we do have that maiden claiming field. It's a full field of 7. And Keith, these are horses that they've been in the maiden ranks for a while, a lot of them, and they've been knocking right on it. So how do you sift through and decide who's going to get that maiden diploma today?
Exactly. I mean, I just there's too many negatives in here with these horses, and to come on, this is the toughest part of trying to handicap these races, and then confidently moving to the window and betting on one of them. So process of elimination, I come up with Blame Julie. I think she has improved for the barn of Charles Frock. I'm going to forgive the race at Charlestown when she was bet down to 3-5. The blinkers go on, though, this afternoon. I thought the race at Timonium was very encouraging, and the race before that faced Timeless Curls, another broad, better fillies and mares than what she's going to face today. I think Blame Julie with the blinkers on can go ahead and just kind of shadow Starseed Child, who I think is best effort. The 4-year-old, she's declining numbers. If she's going to do it here, she's going to do it on the front end. But I think she's going to have company with Blame Julie just to her outside.
Yeah, she certainly could. And Blame Julie, you can, I think, be a bit more forgiving of that race at Timonium 2 starts back. She was a good beaten just 3/4 of a length. In fact, probably one of her, if not her best race. So that was the only time she's been exposed for the tag on the dirt. So she does have a few less excuses than some of the other horses in here, which I think is probably the best way to put it. The Four Country Line Dancer certainly has the best pedigree. She's half to Ballet Diva, Redneck Humor, all these nice Jacks Are Better horses. Hasn't been able to get the job done. I'm hoping that coming back to Laurel sprinting, she's never sprinted on this track before.
No.
I'm hoping that this is going to be a good spot for her.
And this is should be an easier place to close ground than what it was at Timonium. So yeah, that drop finally back down to the tag and sprinting for the tag got this horse going in the right direction. Before that, really hadn't shown a tremendous amount of ability. This field, her run will work.
This will be the right spot, so we'll see. It's now or never for one of these maidens there in race number 7. We go on to race 8 today, 5.5 furlongs on the main track, a nice allowance optional claiming race. And this is my price play of the day, maybe a bit of a silly wager, but we'll see if we can get some prices home. But let's go on to the 6 Polite Pearl. She's been ultra consistent, and she does look tough in here.
Yeah, she's tough. Robert Cole reached in and grabbed this horse for $25,000 off of a win 2 races back, and we've got a video spotlight to put her right back in a stake at Timonium, and ran awfully big. She outran some quality speed horses in there, took some pressure, and just faded late. Do we have that video, guys, from the 25th of August at Timonium? There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, and she was able to kind of clear from the outside, post 7 in a field of 9. Keep your distance was in here. She was bottled up inside, was dropped to the fence, was hounded every step of the way. Magnificent. A nice filly for Mary Epler. Applied all the pressure. These two kind of emerge at the 8th pole, and it looks like they may just go ahead and take it 1-2 to the wire. But no, Shimmering Aspen got back on her game, shifted out, found some room late to go and by. But Polite Pearl to the rail, she's not giving up hardly at all, just a little bit late. And against this field, I think with the scratch of Stella Nova, who was another speed horse I thought could force it, if she breaks clean, she's probably going to be gone in here.
Yeah, this is the interesting thing about this race, and it was great to see Shimmering Aspen get back to the winner's circle. It did turn out to be a key race. 2 next out winners by her speed figures of 79 and 74, so very strong there. Maybe she's just faster than the rest of the field. Now, she didn't give up down on the inside. I did think Lady by Choice might force the issue a little bit. She does benefit from the scratch of Stella Nova, who could have been forwardly placed, and I do wonder what the 2 finding perfection is going to do as far as the pace scenario. I took a little bit of a price play, and as I was going through looking up stats, I said, well, we want to try to give you all of the information possible. So here is a stat on trainer Kevin Patterson, second off the claim with dirt sprints, kind of otherworldly numbers, which was really incredible. 40% win and a positive ROI of $2.19. So maybe this horse is just ready to peak right now. Again, I tried to beat her with the price, but if you're playing any sort of multi-race wagers, leave her off at your own peril.
Exactly. And Phantom Shot, if things do get heated up front, the 4 Phantom Shot, she's in his best form. I think her best form ever. Big, bold move at Timonium, came back with a strong effort behind Renaissance Rosie, I believe, was on the leader just off of it. Phantom Shot, if there's any duel up front, she's going to be rolling late right at him.
Yeah, it certainly could be running late. I'm hoping that Margie's Money to the outside, who did win on a wet track last time out. She also was 3 for 6 on a fast track, so she's pretty versatile. She's going to be a nice price. So that's my hope in here. She's 10-1 on the morning line, that she just gets overlooked as all of the money comes to Polite Pearl, and I hope that somebody or somebodies go with Polite Pearl and set it up for Margie's Money to sit a nice stalking trip from that outside
let's hope she's
post.
a little bit better actor going into the far turn is what she did. I went back and watched that again. Sheldon, phenomenal job doing that. Was real tough to handle. Rank, you see the short com ducked in, hit the rail, but boy, once he got her straightened and corrected, she flourished to the wire. So Margie's Money is your price user, no doubt about it, in race number 8.
And the fact that Sheldon Russell is riding her back, you brought that up earlier, that was a very good sign to me too. So we'll see what he does there in race number 8, or if the number 6 Polite Pearl is just coming back on her best day. As we turn the page to race number 9, this is a maiden claiming for $16,000 tags, 5 furlongs on the main track. Again, this is the race that does start the Stronach 5. If you're playing that $1 wager with that 12% takeout, go to the window, ask for Laurel race 9, and you can go from there, and you get all 4 tracks covered. But this is not an easy way to start it off, Keith.
No, I guess this is what they wanted, right?
Yes.
We want to pump up the handle. You're like, okay, I got to go 5, 6 deep to get you started in the Stronach 5.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you see this race? You took one of the two from Hammy Smith.
I did. I took unequivocal. Hammy, he can do this. He's done this in the past. The jam job with the maidens. He's got plenty of them, and this horse just hasn't worked out. But I think he's faced a lot better competition. The speed in here is a little bit suspect. You've got Bay of Rocks, you've got Shelley Island, you've got Top Hat Tune, maybe even Rapid Ash Cat with the blinkers going on. This horse turning back in distance, coming back to a fast track. That was a good field, 2 race back. Boss followed the dog, came back, I believe, was put up via DQ, but a decent second. Unequivocal. I think it's now or never for this horse, and somewhere from mid-pack.
It certainly could be, getting that drop in class. And then you've got Shelley Island, who's also taking a drop in class, too, only running against the 25,020 types recently. Getting Raylu Gutierrez in the saddle. I think he's really going to fit this 2-year-old gelding pretty well. And I think the drop's going to be key for him. And that last race, bumped around at the start, didn't get off to the great start, going 4 furlongs at Timonium. So hopefully gets out of the gate a little bit cleaner. One of his strongest races 2 starts back here at Laurel was when he was more forwardly placed and showing some more speed.
No doubt. He's going to have company. If Bay of Rocks, all things being equal, they came away clean. There's not a whole lot separating them early on. Top Hat Tune, you go to the inside. It might have run the best race of all of them at Timonium when you really kind of carry out the race, that final time of 46. Only got beat 5 lengths, 4th place finisher. Out of that race on September 3rd was a Claudio runner who was making a bold run late in that race at Timonium, came back to win on the race. So Top Hat Tune, I definitely think is a user, but you've got some firsters that could go okay early, but negative stat on Hammy, the 3-horse Aces and Faces. I think he was over the last couple of years with the 2-year-old maiden claiming firsters, if I'm not mistaken. But you look down on the bottom side, there's possibilities. Yeah,
there actually is some precocity on the bottom side, and that 2-year-old first-time starters and maiden claiming 2 for 44 over the past 5 years.
Okay.
So
wow.
Definitely some questionable stats there for sure from a very good barn.
Yeah.
The dam one sprinting on the dirt have to a stakes place horse named Just Say, and who did win at 2.
Yes.
So maybe that win early pedigree is going to be just enough. He certainly finds a good spot to debut.
No doubt. Touch the Birds, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
was pretty good. Might have won at 3. I don't know if at 2, but at 3 and won a couple races. But and even Spanish Skies, Timmy Keefe kind of lurking there at a price. Durango Sky, the mare, makes this horse a half to Durango Girl, who's kind of a 1-run sprinting type, I believe, for Linda Albert.
All right, well, we'll see what we get in that race number 9 that does again start the first leg of the Stronach 5. Hopefully you're going to be joining us as we debut that wager here on Friday, starting right here at Laurel Park. Let's wrap things up on today's card. Race number 10 going 1 mile on the main track of 5,000. Non-winners of 2 lifetime event for 3-year-olds and upward. You do have the entry in here. Both Keith and I using that horse a little bit, but the 4 Federal Walk looks like this gelding spotted well.
Absolutely. Woke back up last time, ran pretty well, held only beat 4 1/4 lengths after making a move into the pace, dueling a little fade. The winner, Army Gray, came back to win with a big number at Delaware for Claudia. This horse can stretch out. The only time it went long was against Much Better and was hounded every step of the way. I don't think anybody can go with this horse early. You look on the bottom side of the breeding, there's distance on the mare, and then you go the second dam, there's distance there. Federal Walk catches the right kind of field to control the issue.
I think so too. I definitely saw this race the same way. I went through wondering where's the speed going to come from, how is the pace scenario going to play out, and I thought that this horse stretching out in distance with that quality on the bottom side, going to be able to control the pace. The only one that has some natural early speed is the 6 Fiery Challenge. I don't think that this one's as fast or can maintain that speed as much. And just like you mentioned, Federal Walk, the only time going a mile was against significantly tougher competition, so I think this is the right spot for him in here. Let's touch on the 3 Publish and Iterate, dropping all the way down to the 5,000 since that big layoff. Wasn't in for the tag the last 2.
No, but Mary, she has done okay. Looked up a stat for her over the last couple years. 4 for 15. She doesn't do it a lot. 4 for 15, 27% with the 50% droppers in class. This horse didn't have a real comfortable trip, was caught in between horses for a while last time. No run whatsoever. This big drop, they mean business. It's all or nothing, probably, maybe, for Publish and Iterate.
certainly does seem to be that way. A big drop after running against much tougher after that big lay of about 13 months came back to the racetrack. And then, of course, there is the entry in here, both of us preferring the 1A French's Quest for Jose Corrales, who's had a little bit of a tough meet here at Laurel Park so far.
Yeah, I think things will heat up for that barn. The 3-back TriStar, Charming Morning, Roman Warrior, double key race. He's another one. The run's got to be perfect. I think he's tactical in this group. Maybe he gets the jump on the other closers, but will he be able to reel in Federal Walk? I hope not. But he might.
I hope not, too. I hope not, too. All right, both Keith and I hoping that Federal Walk can control the pace in the nightcap today. Thanks for joining us on Today at the Races from Laurel Park. First post is 1:10 p.m. this afternoon. Don't forget the Stronach 5 starts in race 9 right here at Laurel. Keith, it was a lot of fun as always. Looking forward. We'll be on again tomorrow morning. This special day class on the grass. First post, special post tomorrow is 12:30. So thanks again for joining us this morning. You can join me, Rich Magliori, and Tim Tulloch throughout the afternoon here at Laurel Park. Thanks and good luck today, everyone.
Good luck.